Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PRL Midweek Tier. This is round 13 of Season 14. I am back in the booth. This is Hoop BK. Enjoyed my foray back into the cockpit last week in Miami, but it's a little bit comfier not having to worry about driving. Big shout out to our champion for this season, FBI Agent, for taking over in the booth last week. Hope you guys had a good time with that. This week we are back in Montreal, which I'm glad I'm not racing here because I hate driving this track. I will be very blunt about that. As we go through the laps, I'll point out my favorite and least favorite parts of this track, which there are many. Here we go. First driver on track is Unbiased. One of just a handful of Canadian drivers in the grid, actually. Typically this tier, well, it used to be this tier was just full of Canadians, but it seems the Americans have taken over. So just a handful of Canadians in Montreal for this round. 17 currently in. We should get to a full 20 by the end of qualifying, so we will see. Can't remember all the corner numbers. They're all chicanes anyway. But we'll stick with Unbiased as he throws down the first hot lap of the session. And he's invalidated. All right. And that's something we will see probably frequently throughout this session is the Wall of Champions chicane, the final corner. Super easy to invalidate, run over the curb at the apex. A very long turn 2 here. And another great invalidation spot is turn 3. This flick to the right and the left. Super easy to go over. Fun little high-speed corner into a little heavy braking zone. Another little chicane. This one's tricky, especially on exit. Hard to stick the traction. DRS open. And yet another little chicane to the right and the left. Pretty easy to go over there as well. A little bit too much onto the curb. And then the big, heavy hairpin. We'll see plenty of opportunities to overtake here, and also probably some incidents. That's usually how it works out here. Then a very long DRS section, leading all the way back to the flick that is the infamous Wall of Champions. So you can screw up the apex and invalidate, or you can get the apex right and then run into the wall and exit. So there's the first lap time, but unofficially as it was invalidated. We'll see the time start to trickle through. Nico, then Ace Edge on the board. Big slide, Nico. Kobe plays in the McLaren today. The Chrome McLaren puts down a 1:10.2. I do not know what the fastest laps will be. I could hazard a guess on the 109s, 108s, but not entirely sure. Who's the other McLaren today? That's Airborne Tiger on an outlap. He is one to watch today with FBI still enjoying his well-deserved vacation, touching a little bit of grass after clinching the championship. Let's see. So Pickle Tickle also invalidated. Going to be a ton of invalidations here. So Unbiased, who started it off, let's see, throws down a legitimate lap time of 1:12 flat. Spot Up comes behind him, 1:12.4. It's also a short enough lap. I could see some drivers just kind of filling it up and running a couple laps all at once. T-Stiggy, last week's winner, I believe that was his first PRL win, so congratulations for that. Put down a good lap so far, but we saw him slide around the hairpin. Also a contender at the front of the field at the sharp end with Airborne Tiger, Andy Wu. Well, they're really strong competitors in here. And he gets into the 110s as well. Kobe has shown some serious pace in the past as well. Oh, well, the spot up getting out of the way, I believe. Airborne Gord Sauce at his home track. He's invalidated. Or Tiger invalidated. We'll go with Ghost Viper. Gord getting out of the way there. Ghost Viper, I believe, the lone Brit on the grid for this one. He's going to throw it through the chicane. A little bit of touch. You see he runs wide there. It's going to cost some time. He'll get into the 112s, and that was invalidated. So perhaps when he went wide on exit and touched the wall, that was the invalidation there. I didn't see it until he crossed the line. So quick lap, shorter track. There's going to be a lot of traffic, especially if we're able to get the final 3 guys in here. KP took a lot of curb on the turn in, but that helped him get through the middle of that corner without running over track limit. Super easy to do. Using all the track on exit there from the hairpin. It's like a little kink, and you gotta straighten the car out. It'll be a little tricky with traction. The driver's in the V-carb today. KP throws it through the final corner, keeps it within track limits. It's going to be in the 112s or 13s. 112.7 will slot in at P10. The other V-carb is Gibby today. I believe that's a reserve. It's been a lot of reserves the last couple of weeks, which is awesome. Well, we've loved this bombardment of new drivers that have joined over the last season. If you're watching this and are not a part of the league, check out our Discord, which should be in the stream channel profile page thing. We'd love to have you. We are pushing to open a second tier in midweek next season. So we'd love to have you, no matter your experience level with the game, or skill level for that matter. Really excited to get potentially a second tier going in midweek. We've come a long way in the 6 or 7 seasons we've run. Kind of rolling around there. So Toneless jumped up to P4. We saw Chalice threw down a lap as well. He's P5. A couple drivers in the 110s now. And Kobe had broken into the 109s. So I was looking away there. I missed a couple of these laps, but Kobe seems to be in control for now. But Airborne Tiger and Andy Wu have yet to put down lap times. They will be competitors at the sharp end. Airborne Tiger still hasn't been able to get a clean one in. He invalidated Andy Wu in the garage spill. This Mercedes duo trying to stay within the constructors fight, I believe. I don't think that's locked up yet. I haven't done the math on that. Yeah, it's pretty much as good as locked up. Maybe not officially, but with 2 McLarens in this race, I think it officially locks it up. I was usually FBI agent in obese mode in the McLaren, and Thomas and Gordsauce in the Mercedes, but McLaren is pretty much pulled away at this point. Yeah, Ghost Viper's pretty good. See how he's doing now. Is he going to be able to put a clean lap in? Game says he went purple in Sector 2. I no idea what to believe now. Gordsauce was P3. Maybe that was it before. Okay. See, tidy final corner. It's not going to be a 109 or a 110, but a 111.3 puts Ghost Viper in P9 for the time being. I'll jump over to Woo, starting a lap, and let me get there we go, an invite in there. Kid and Petter, if you're watching, let me see if I have you, but add me on EA. I can get you in here. We haven't heard from the other 2 drivers yet, so I'm sure there will be a spot for you. It says Andy Wu, purple Sector 2. See if he can break into the 109s with Kobe. Okay. Flicks through the final corner. It'll be in the 110s, just barely in the 110s. So he joins the 110-9 club, which now has 4 members. So very tight here in the upper midfield. That's good for P7 for the time being. Still, Kobe plays in control of this one by over half a second with 4.5 minutes remaining. The ever familiar red track map around here. T-Stiggy finding time. He's going to improve to P5. Lost a bit of time in the final sector. Was just a 2/10 improvement. It looked like he was up 4.5 tenths through 2 sectors. So just barely missing out on P4. The 110-7 club is also getting a little busy with 3 drivers there now. Airborne Tiger sitting P10. Okay, not seeing any improvement. I think most drivers will be gearing up for their final runs here. Now we got Toneless on a push lap. I believe he's the first one on this final run. See how close he gets to the wall there on exit of turn 4. He's found 2/10 already. It's like for me at this track, it's just dealing with traction. It's all chicanes. It's Tough to find traction on the exit of all of these corners. There we go. Good corner there. Runs a little wide, but keeps off the grass. Found another 2/10 through 2 sectors, but a big lockup into the hairpin. It's going to cost him some time. It's like back on the throttle. If he can just keep it steady through the final sector, you're looking at a possible P3 at this point. Knocking on the door, P2 through the final chicane. Foot on the floor, 1:10.289. That's P2 provisionally. So a great lap from Toneless there, jumping onto the front row, but his competitors are going to have plenty of time to respond. Here's Heavy Chalice, who is responding 7/10 up through 2 sectors. That's a possible P2 lap as well. That's this final corner. Laps are often thrown away at this final chicane. Heavy Chalice into the 109s. 109.914, misses by 7 thousandths of a second. Good for P2 and just a hair's width away, from provisional pole. Fantastic lap from the Aston Martin driver, but just misses out. Gibby starting a lap. Gortsauce invalidated. Nico starting a lap. Bunch of drivers on laps now. I think Toneless gearing up for he had invalidated. So that's probably it for him. Gibby, a small improvement, but he's on the back of a Ferrari right now. Let's see. Trying to keep up with the colors here. A bunch of drivers coming across the line now. Seeing an Airborne starting a lap. Airborne finding a little bit of time through it's a quarter second. Here we go. So Nico jumps to P3. A 1:10.2. He jumps Toneless, and that is the checkered flag. Toneless will not have a chance to respond. He jumps into the pit lane. Is that Red Bull? Is that Spot up then? No, it must be Stiggy. No, Woo, who just went to the pit lane. All the blues look the same to me, so perhaps Ghost Viper, we're jumping around here. He's found 2/10 so far. Has he found anything else in Sector 3 to jump closer to P10? Oh, yes, he has, and more. P7 on the board. Gortsauce has found half a second. Where will that put him? That'll put him P3 in the 110s. Have some shuffling near the bottom of the top 10. How about that? That's Gibby moving to P3. He breaks into the 109s. What else we got going on here? Vinny invalidated. Spot up, not in a competitive lap. KP has invalidated. Do want to shout out, and I'm sorry if I get the pronunciation wrong, Balzerga. That's Lance Strulovich, I know, in our Discord. So welcome in. I believe my first time covering you in midweek at least. So he is P12 on the board. Was able to get a lap in. Kitten Petter also joined late. He will start from the rear of the field. Now we'll just wait for everyone to cycle through. Yes, so everyone thinking that perhaps they're safe from McLaren with some reserves in instead. And The reserve driver gets on pole as well. 7 thousandths of a second between Kobe Plays, our pole sitter, and Heavy Chalice and P2. Crazy, crazy close. Gibby within a tenth as well. Then there's Gord Sauce, Nico, Toneless, T. Stiggy, Ghost Viper, Ace Edge, and Andy Wu in the top 10. Then Airborne Tiger, Balzerga, Tours, Unbiased, KP, Spot Up, The Pickle Tickle, Vinny Sips, and Kitten Petter rounds out our 19 car field here in Montreal. Kid Petter says, I love starting in the rear. This is a tough track for me. I wouldn't do it here, but whatever floats your boat, man. And Gord Sauce home race dub incoming. I think the nation of Canada would go crazy. It'd be like a Stanley Cup victory. Gord Sauce to get back, just even back on the podium. It has been a podiumless 12 rounds so far, season 14 for Mr. Sauce. No, he is itching for it. Certainly a possibility. And it's just an influx of comments related to the Stanley Cup comment. That's hilarious. American teams taking Stanley Cups, a bunch of American drivers taking over midweek tier. Have seen some interesting stuff regarding strategy at this one. It could be a one-stop, but it seems like the wear on the hards has been pretty high for a lot of drivers who have been running practice. So a one-stop is doable. You just have to be very patient, very delicate. The softs, I believe here it is the C6. I would not use the soft tire here in race. Which means we will see someone on the soft tire here in race. I'm expecting a lot of one stop and two stop, like medium, hard, medium, perhaps. Maybe if you're able to stretch it, the hards a bit, but can't get them all the way to the end, you throw on the soft. So a tough one stop, but certainly a viable one stop. Two stop might be the strategy, though, if you're unable to save the tires as well as you'd hope. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff of like 4% a lap on the hard tires, so difficult to get the, what is it, it's like a 36 lap race here. Go get the formation lap underway, and we'll get everything set up here. The McLaren on pole. This has been a familiar sight this season. I haven't updated my sheet yet, but it's been a lot of McLaren poles this season. How about that? I'd say the majority have been McLaren poles. First, yep, mediums and hards. First 8 drivers on the mediums, Ace Edge, and 9th on the hard. Next 3 on mediums, we got Tours and Unbiased on hards, Pickle Tickle and Kitten Petter on hards. But mostly the medium tire. I think everyone will be aiming for a one-stop and then just pivoting if they're not able to get there. Or if a safety car comes out, which here it's certainly possible. I feel like most races I've been involved in here, we have seen safety cars, multiple safety cars on quite a few occasions. So. Louis Vuitton really is getting their money's worth for advertising, yeah? They do not sponsor Performance Racing League. I'll have to make that clear. If they did, I probably wouldn't be doing this for free. How about that? Not yet. Yep. Louis Vuitton, if you want to throw a check our way, all goes to the commentator. I would not be opposed. Rear of the grid coming in. 19 cars on the grid. And now the lights. 3, 4, 5 red lights illuminated. And we are underway. Side by side already into turn 1. Kobe trying to keep the inside line. A small luck up. He will keep the lead. So we roll through the field here. Tight, tight, tight into turn 2 as always. Pretty tidy so far. Kobe leads the field through turn 3. Everyone single file. Nico has really lost out through the opening corners, dropping 3. And I believe Unbiased is around in the back. He's lost a couple of spots. There we go. Nico trying to hold on. He's trying to lose more spots. Ace Edge was side by side there, and he is tucked all the way in. Going to hold on to the position for now. We'll go back towards the front of the field. Kobe has maintained the lead. Chalice P2. Gord got ahead of Gibby. Go side by side there. So Andy Wu getting to the inside of the Haas. They are continuing to exchange. Can we please change the camera angle game? Thank you. Goodness. See Airborne Tiger get by Ace. These two still scrapping. It's going to be a nice crossover move from the Haas. They'll get side by side. These two really scrapping through the opening lap here. Wu losing 2 positions. So Kobe plays holding on to the lead, but has not pulled away yet. Not really used to that. Usually the leaders have checked out by now, but with DRS available, Heavy Chalice all over the rear. That was 2 tenths, now 5 tenths after the chicane. Certainly close enough to take advantage of the DRS in this next corner, but he really understeers out of the hairpin. He's going to lose some time, try to make it back on exit. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. Starting to reel him in. Will he get close enough? He won't. He'll tuck back in. They will continue to play nice. Already our first track limits violations. Oh no, is that Ace around? Ace in the wall? It's getting it back going, but it must have run wide at the Wall of Champions and has some damage to this car. Nothing too severe on the front though, it appears. So Stiggy, last week's winner, already a 3-second time penalty. It's so easy to get here in Montreal, and I'm sure we will see many, many, many more by the time this one's over. Stiggy remains a part of this train at the front, though. He's pulling away from Ghost Viper, who has mirrors full of a McLaren than Airborne Tiger. He goes deep, and McLaren will get to the inside and take the position. Is that some DRS tag, or will the McLaren still have DRS? Yep, Tiger still gets the flap open. Try to pull away from the Williams here. A bit further back to the Haas of Valzerga. Andy Wu getting by Nico, and it's just been a rough beginning few laps for the Williams driver. Wu back to where he... Oh, wow. What a hit. We got that in the background. KP smashed into the wall on the exit, into the wall of champions. Will we see the car? Yep, car is there, and now it is not. Smashes into the wall, and that'll bring out, I'm going to guess, a full course safety car? VSC? It just says caution on my screen. So our first DNF, I don't see the safety car bubble, so it must be a VSC. Our first DNF of the round. I'm sure it was just a running wide. It's super easy to get the line wrong. Yes. And immediately in the chat, yes, the Wall of Champions was, in fact, the aggressor on that incident. Very unfortunate for KP. And we got a bunch of drive-thrus as well. That's Toneless and perhaps Gibby. Toneless will lose a position immediately. They're going to have to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Side by side up ahead. What was all that about? Perhaps just trying to get into the pit lane. Yeah, so Gibby and Toneless immediately serve their penalties. Nico picks up a penalty of his own. That looked dangerous. The car was in the grass trying to get the line into the pit lane. Gord dipped the tires in the grass there. Kobe defending from Heavy Chalice, trying to hold on to the lead. Does not get the line right, though, after going defensive. And they're going to go side by side. The Aston Martin will take the position. Thanks to our incredible shots from our camera crew here. We totally missed all of that. Seems like Heavy Chalice using a lot of the track on exit at the hairpin. It cost them initially. Kobe Plays will have DRS. Going defensive is the Aston Martin driver. Back to the line and will hold on to the position. We'll have another DRS zone here. Gord Sauce lurking in the background. Kobe not quite getting close enough. And these three right at the front of the field. Siggy Airborne. Valzerga is P6 thanks to a couple of drive-through penalties for drivers that were ahead. But he's up quite a few spots already here on lap 6. We watch the rear end of the Williams of Ghost Viper step out. He's going to lose some time. T-Stiggy loses a position to Airborne. Just DRS there. These two are scrapping. Kobe falling away from Heavy Chalice a little bit. Oh, we got unbiased around that chicane after the backstretch. Trying to get it back around. So Kobe falling more towards Gourd Sauce now than he was to Heavy Chalice. Andy Wu gets a overtake done but can't hold on to it. As Ghost Viper takes the position back. They are still side by side, heading down towards turn 1, and the Red Bull does return the favor. So a move into the final chicane, kind of overruns it, gives the Williams the position initially, but he gets it back into turn 1. So the Williams together in 8th and 9th. Kobe falling away a bit. Now he's pulling back in with the DRS open. I was going to say he was outside of a second, but in the DRS zone, gets it within half a second. See Gord probably running over track limits there. He's still in the picture. Very busy here around P10. My bias just struggling to get the car to do what he wants it to. Chalice still holding on as Kobe not quite close enough to be able to make a move. Oh, big snap from Heavy Chalice. Holds onto the car though. As the penalties continue to roll in. Oh, got a car around. It's Ace again in the same spot near the Wall of Champions. So it looks like there's probably a little bit more damage now. Spot Up is off the road after turn 2. May have had some help. Yeah, perhaps Kobe pushing a little too hard early on and overheating his tires as he's starting to see the effects. Also running in the dirty air may not be helping him either. These three have been attached for the last few laps. And Airborne Tiger has actually joined this party. He's within that as well. Side by side, Heavy Chalice and Kobe, but Kobe gets to the inside, makes the move, and will have the lead as we enter lap 9. Gord Sauce right there as well, as Heavy Chalice got slowed up. Gord to the inside. He's going to take P2 all the way to the inside. Has to make an evading move as he kind of overcooked turn 1. Had the lead for maybe 5 thousandths of a second. So Gord Sauce into P2, Kobe into P1, and Heavy Chalice relegated to P3. All this has brought Airborne Tiger even closer, and now T-Stiggy, though he now has 6 seconds of penalties, in P5 is right there. Gord to the inside. They are side by side heading towards the chicane, and the Mercedes driver back at P1. A big slide trying to get the car slowed down to make the corner. But Gord Sauce back out front of a sight that has been quite familiar to us in midweek. A big slide under braking. Kobe trying to get the car slowed down and get to the inside. He comes out with the lead, and Airborne Tiger, his teammate for the day, taking P2, getting past Gord Sauce. And Airborne to the inside of Kobe. He will take the lead. Airborne Tiger has crawled from P10 all the way up to the lead. The McLaren side by side. Zach Brown freaking out on the pit wall right now. One in the chrome, one in the papaya and black. Both sliding around turn 2. Kobe plays in the chrome, has regained the top spot. Wow. Just a crazy battle there for the last full lap or so. Yeah, McLaren's not a very good history at this track running into each other, but they've kept it clean so far. Maybe a bit of sliding. So we get a great shot here. Airborne Tiger getting to the back of his teammate. Well, let's see. What did we miss? Heavy Chalice entered the pit lane. He moves on to the hards. He must be on a 2-stop strategy now. Yeah, everyone's sliding around on exit. I'm starting to wonder if 2-stop will be kind of the play. We've had a couple other drivers. We have Toneless, Ghost Viper, Nico, as the McLarens once again exchange positions. Airborne Tiger back into the lead. Kobe into the pit lane. He's followed by Gord Sauce. Lap 10. I'm going to say 2-stop for most of the drivers then. Moving on to the hards. Yeah, didn't Airborne Tiger start like P10, P11? Oh yeah, 2011. Yeah, not Red Bull. Yeah, Airborne Tiger up 10 spots. Of course, pit stops is factored in as well, but Airborne Tiger had the lead on merit, just slicing through the top of the field as Heavy Chalice gets by his teammate. Tour's getting swamped now by the drivers on new tires, trying to keep Vinny behind now. It's Gord's turn to get by Vinny. Yeah, all the leaders coming out all in the spot around P9, P10. Have to slice through the field. So Heavy Chalice, the leader of those who have pit. Uh-oh. I heard a smashing sound. Oh no, Airborne Tiger and T-Stiggy come in, and Airborne Tiger speeds entering the pit lane. That is going to be a crucial mistake. More penalties rolling through. I saw Kobe. I saw, who was that? Heavy Chalice. So Heavy Chalice ahead of Kobe. T-Stiggy coming out with Airborne Tiger behind Gourd Sauce, and with those penalties, pit stops ready to turn this race on its head. Let's take a quick look at those penalties, actually. Yeah, Airborne Tiger with 13 seconds, T-Stiggy dealing with 6. So right now, Gourd Sauce is in a really good position. Has yet to pick up a penalty. Looking at our current leader on track, Kitten Petter, who started from P19 all the way up to P1. He's ahead of Andy Wu, who is on the medium tire. And I was going to say it's going to be the Pickle Tickle, but Kobe Plays gets by the Pickle Tickle on the fresh tires. They're still side by side, actually. It was not a done deal. The Ferrari heads to the pit lane and releases Kobe Plays into P2, as Andy Wu also in the pit lane. Kit Petter started on the hard, so he will go longer than a lot of the other drivers. Most drivers started on the mediums. We got Kobe, we got Heavy Chalice. Gourd Sauce a second behind them. Airborne and T-Stiggy. Got a nice little battle here for P9 on track. Balzerga gets by Tours, who is still on the old tires. And Balzerga actually on the medium, so he is almost certainly locked into a two-stop strategy. I think a lot of the drivers will be on a two-stop at this point. I will say at least 16 drivers will get a penalty this race, Frosty. Like, it will be almost everybody. I'll be surprised if anyone gets the 2-point bonus. But I've said that before at this track, and someone has always gotten it. So Andy Wu around. Yeah, we're not going to get a good look at it. Lost in the chicane. He's on new tires. It's going to cost him a ton of time. DRS overtake for the Haas, moving into P8. Gourd Sauce throwing down the fastest lap of the race from P4. More penalties rolling in. Why not? Is that Vinny in the 2-point bonus? Yeah, he's pretty good at keeping it clean, keeping it within the white lines. As more penalties roll through, and let's see, they're at 8. We're at 11 drivers with penalties. So Kobe Plays back out front ahead of Kitten Petter, who's on the older tires. See some moves in the rear, and now all of the leaders, well, they were leading before, are back together with Kitten Petter thrown in the mix. The Haas just trying to hold off Heavy Chalice now. They get side by side. The Haas moving to the inside of Kobe Plays. Won't get there though. And Gord picks up the 3-second time penalty. We were just discussing that, I saw. Kid Petter losing out 2 positions there with all the DRS. I think he overcommitted. Oh yeah, he has damage now too. Probably out of the corner into the wall of champions. Yeah. So now all of the top 9 have penalties. We are, let's say, an even playing field because it's various levels of penalty right now. But so Kobe back out in front where he started this Grand Prix. Heavy Chalice P2 where he also started the Grand Prix. And so it's T-Stiggy getting by Kittenpetter, who now has some wing damage in addition to the older tires. Yeah, I think, let's see if Kittenpetter might have to pivot to a 2-stop because of the damage. Gordon Airborne Tiger side by side. Airborne takes P3. Tours could go in a 1-stop, and Spot Up will probably try a 1-stop, knowing him, knowing how he does strategy. Alzerga moves to P7. He gets by Ghost Viper. Yeah, I think Vinny could get there. Yeah, it's a very soft compound. As Spot Up heads into the pits now, we saw Bias go around. Yep, the C4s, it's a soft compound here. I still think the 1-stop is doable, and I think Vinny, in general, does a pretty good job at taking care of his tires, so he will try. Probably the same for Spot Up as well. So McLaren's back at the front. Airborne Tiger clawed his way through, picked up the penalty. Still has the penalty outstanding, though. Board Sauce back into P3, so Heavy Chalice dropping a couple spots. Look at those penalties real quick. Yeah, 3, 13, 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yep. A lot of 3s. Some 6s, a 13. Should even the playing field, but Airborne, that's going to hurt. He's going to have to serve that, or it'll come out at the end of the race. But the rest of these guys battling for the final podium position are pretty much on even footing. Yeah, I'm thinking Kitten will need to get to lap 20. On the hards. That's where me personally, where I try to get with those hard tires. 15 laps on the mediums at the end. Maybe a touch before. Maybe lap 19. I think for him, it's the damage on the front wing. He's losing even more time with that damage. Airborne Tiger all over the rear of his teammate. Zach Brown with his eyes held shut, refusing to watch. As he reminds his drivers, papaya rules, even if you are reserving. Please and thank you. Kobe still holds on to the lead of this one. Oh, we got a car around, don't we? Oh, it's unbiased, unfortunately. It's been a rough go for him today. The McLarens. Nose to tail. Still playing nice, but playing nice has allowed Gourd Sauce to get even closer. Oh man, Kobe loses the car under braking, but keeps it mostly facing the right way. That's going to give his teammate a chance with DRS here. Yeah, even barely the flap is open by the time he gets around. So Airborne Tiger back into the lead of this one. Kobe plays in P2. Trying to get my history correct. Airborne Tiger has won a midweek race, right? Kobe has not, I believe. Gord is not this season. He's ready to get back on that top step. But the McLarens have shown to be the strongest pairing this season in general, but specifically today. But there's been a lot of contenders here at the front. We should be in for a good back half of this race. So maybe it's just a podium I'm thinking of. I think it was a week that I had missed that he got on the podium or won. Maybe it was like a P2. It would have been this season if he had. T. Sticky and Heavy Chalice. That's the Alpine getting by the Aston Martin, taking P4. Sticky with all those penalties. And Airborne Tiger with even more penalties as they give him another 3 seconds. Yeah, there's 3 potential first-time winners in this group of 5. It'll be fun. Okay, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I'm picturing Spa for some reason. May have got a podium there as well. T. Stiggy with his win, his first PRL win last week. Heavy Chalice has been around with us for a bit. Has not had a chance to get on that top step, but he has looked excellent today. Absolutely fantastic. So, truly contending. Tours comes into pit. So on lap 20, he ditches those hards, goes onto the medium. So I'm sure we'll see Kit Petter in soon from those hards. Yeah, so now Airborne out in front. He's got fresh air ahead of him. But it's super hard to break DRS here with all the zones. And he's got a lot of penalties that he's got to deal with. Now Zerga into the pits. Only 8 laps on those mediums. Perhaps going to throw hards for the rest of the race? Yeah, all right, that makes sense. So we went medium hard, excuse me. See where he comes out. With a quick reminder of those penalties, that's 16 seconds of penalties for Airborne Tiger. He had picked up 2 track limits penalties and also sped in the pit lane. So 7/10 is certainly less than the 10 seconds he needs there. We watch Kobe. He underbraking of the hairpin almost every time the rear has stepped out on him, but he has saved it every single time. He's going to lose a bit of time from that, though. T-Stiggy on the back of Gord Sauce. Gord trying to hold on to this podium position, but also he's got a 6-second buffer. At least to T-Stiggy, not to Chalice, for sure. Watching all these cars slide. There's just no rear traction around this track. Some things are never going to change, I guess. So Pickled Sickle gets by Gibby. That was a DRS overtake. Pickled Sickle moving to P10. 50 brake bias. That's insanity. And Balzerga on fresh tires moves to P10 around both Pickled Sickle and Gibby. Just calling that out. Kid Petter still running around on those hards, I believe. Yeah, 21 lap old, so that window is open, I'd say. Airborne slowly pulling away from his teammate at the front. Maybe Kid Petter just trying to find somewhere to slot in with the pit stop, but I think he's just losing time at this point. So might need to replace the wing. Canada with any sort of lack of downforce sounds like an absolute nightmare to me. Ghost Viper comes in, 12-lap old hards. Yeah, as you call it, a Viper sneaky P6. He comes into the pit lane. He's going to put hards on for the final 12 laps. Interesting. I may have gone mediums at this point, but maybe feeling he could push a little more on the hard tire. I think he's going to have somewhere to slot into ahead of Andy Wu. Yeah, plenty of space there. So he will slot into P11. As Vinny Sips picks up his track limits penalty, he will not be getting those 2 points as we... 21 lap old hards. Oh, it's... If we're talking Kid and Petter, I think it's just because he hadn't crossed the line yet. So 22 lap old hards on lap 23. This should be the tire that he started on as Kobe Plays comes into the pits. Yep, so the leaders are on two-stop strategy, as we thought as well. He is the first one to jump in. Plenty of space to Kit and Petter. Yeah. Gortsauce trying to hold off Stiggy here. Kobe in. Kit and Petter in for his stop. Tomeless in for his stop. For his second stop. So Kobe moving on to the hards. Kit and Petter on the mediums as he needs to. Yeah, I would be surprised if Airborne was just like, I need to stay out. He's got all those penalties he's dealing with. He's actually been pulling away from those behind him. I have no idea if it's possible. Let's see, from lap 12? I don't see why not. That's not too much of a stretch, I don't think. I'm thinking like a 20-lap stint, 22-lap stint, so... Gortsauce into the pit lane. So the race director is going to be absolutely overfull with penalties here. Yes, the track is C6. It's the softest trio of compounds. So yeah, this is a C4 hard tire. It'll be very difficult. I do think it's possible. Bazera gets around Nico. That's a new tires versus old tires. Gortsauce gets by Kobe. Kobe's around. Kobe Plays. Lost the car. Out of turn 2, and this really opens this race up as Gibby turns in the fastest lap. That puts Gortsauce at the front of the field of those who have pit. Keep it out for Bazurga. 4 laps on hards. He will get to the end for sure. Gortsauce on the mediums, and all those ahead have yet to pit. So penalties on penalties as Airborne Tiger comes in. He will not try to stretch it. He will probably throw some mediums on. After serving the penalties, of course. Yeah, plenty of penalties around here, Gibby. What did I say? 16 drivers have penalties. 15 have penalties currently. Kobe gets by Airborne, T-Stiggy. Okay. Plenty of penalties to go around. Yeah, how the hell are you doing that? As Ghost Fiber picks up more penalties. Heavy Chalice on the in the Aston Martin on the older hard tires. More drivers entering the pits to throw on medium tires to get to the end. We're well within that window. 10 laps to go. Chalice started P2, is yet to pit a second time. He could get to the end. I'll say he could get to the end until he proves me wrong. But yeah, Gortsauce in a fantastic position now. P2 fresh medium tires. 4 seconds to a driver behind who has a lot more penalties than he does as Chalice comes in. immediately proves me wrong. He will throw on the hard tires. Not hards. Medium tires, excuse me. As Gord turns in the fastest lap and inherits the lead of this race. More penalties coming in. So Toneless, Spot Up, and Tours, the only ones to have an unblemished race so far. I'm sure I've jinxed all of them. Spot Up losing position to the Pickle Tickle. He's been cruising around P15 most of the race. Here, we'll go to Toneless real quick. He's on the rear of Kitten Petter. Similar age tires. Different compounds. We'll keep an eye on that. Gibby on the rear of Andy Wu. It's a sister team on the other team. Toneless got by for P8. T-Siggy starting to reel in Gourd Sauce, actually. I feel like that gap was a lot bigger just a few moments ago. The McLaren side-by-side into the chicane. And he cuts the corner. Oh, there's contact. We almost had the exact same thing happen as we saw earlier this season in real life as Airborne to the inside of Heavy Chalice, almost barging into him. They're almost going to go 3 wide. Airborne going super aggressive now. He takes P4, goes from P6 to P4 in about 1 sector. Lore accurate McLaren indeed, barging through the final chicane and then into turn 2 to get by the Aston Martin to take P4. He is on a mission. He's going to get to the inside of the Haas. He'll get that spot with the assistance of DRS. And back into P3 he goes. Got a car in the wall at the Wall of Champions. Kobe side by side with Heavy Chalice. We saw a bit of contact there. They're trying to muscle for position out of the hairpin. It tightens there. Chalice trying to go defensive. Made his move. Kobe gets to the inside. Tucks back in. Yeah, why not? Throw a safety car. I think Spot Up has gotten into an incident back here. Yep. Gourdsauce still holding on to the lead. T-Stiggy digging in, taking some time out. Let's see. I'm clicking the wrong thing. Kobe, another penalty. Yeah, he's going to get some help there. And Kobe, that's 12 seconds now. It's going to drop him quite a bit. Well, he's going to be dealing with Ghost Viper on the timing sheet now. That'll help Toneless. And we're pulling away now from Bazerga, who's holding back the Aston Martin. Big wobble there. So these 3 all battling for P4 now. Gonna get to the inside. The space is afforded. They're gonna have some contact though. Cannot quite get the car through the corner. Kobe surrenders the position. He will have DRS to help though. I have a feeling something could happen here. Kobe tucked in. Not at that moment. Apologies to the others in this race. I think we're having an awesome battle for the lead. I do want to give everyone a shot, I say, as Heavy Chalice gets past for P5. Kobe does get into that spot as Gibby and Andy Wu exchange positions, P10. More penalties for T-Stiggy. I think at this point he's just pushing and he's continuing to rack up more and more penalties, but just trying to get more time. He loses more time. Chalice got to the inside there. Tough place to make a move. It's going to give DRS to his McLaren rival. More penalties for Kobe. That's got to be like 15, right? It's easy to do here, but yeah, 15 seconds. T-Stiggy also dealing with 15. What is it to get disqualified again? It's a lot more than 15, right? The Aston Martin gets by Bazerga. help a DRS. Moving into P4. So this was a battle, six-way battle for the podium at one point. It's like a minute, yeah. It's like 40 seconds or something like that, 45. Toneless gets by Ghost Viper on track. He's going to get Kobe on the timing page. And T-Stiggy has brought it within a second of Gourd Sauce, but we're watching that timing page now. As more penalties come in. 8/10 now. We'll keep an eye out on the battle for the lead on track, but the timing page is going to have a lot to say about this one. Yeah, the McLaren just shoving right now, just trying to get by, but he's getting more and more time penalties. Yes, I believe it's 6 seconds. No, 3 seconds. As T-Stiggy actually gets by Gourd Sauce at the front of the field. Gourd just letting him by. And now it's 6 seconds. That's not good. Currently, he's safe. Yeah, currently he's safe. We're on lap 32, 4 laps to go. T-Stiggy in the lead on track, but 15 seconds worth of penalties waiting. Gourd Sauce P2, 6 seconds. Airborne, 9 seconds of P3, but 6 seconds behind Gourd. Heavy Chalice, Kobe picked up another 3 as we're discussing. Gibby speeding into the pit lane. He's at 19 seconds of penalties. You know what? I'm not even going to try to think about the order of the race until we get to the results page at this point. All the penalties having to factor in. Toneless is golden right now, though. He's looking at a P5, just keeping it clean, going around P7. Kobe losing the position of Alzurga and really understeering through the hairpin. Yep, some drivers have thrown on the softs here at the end, trying to put in some hot laps. Tours, Gibby, Unbiased, all on fresh softs near the rear of the field. Is Kobe going to do it? Interesting. Kobe's going to put on some soft tires. He's going to lose some spots, though. He will stay ahead of Nico. Very much so. So he'll slot right into P9. So keep an eye on this battle. Ghost Viper and Kitten Petter. What's their penalties look like? 6 and 12 seconds. Let's think they could be battling on track, and it doesn't even matter with all the time penalties coming in. Gibby getting by Vinny Sips for P13. He's throwing on the new softs. T-Stiggy taking us to 2 laps to go as he is the leader. On track, but Gourd Sauce, he's had quite a wait. 12 rounds this season, had not been on the podium. But he's just 2 laps away now, even less now. His last win, round 13. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Excuse me. It really has been a wait for him. He didn't even have a win last season. It was round 14 here in Canada. Round 14 of season 12 was the last time Gourd Sauce was on the top step of the podium. He hasn't been on the podium at all since round 10, the final round of season 13 last season. So that's 12 races without a podium, and quick math, 22 races without a win for perhaps the winningest driver in PRL midweek history. But he's just a lap away now bringing that Mercedes to the white flag. 3.5 seconds behind the leader on track, but comfortably on the timing sheet. T. Stiggy, after picking up his first win last week in Miami, leading this one, but a lot of mistakes have really cost him and will cost him as soon as that checkered flag comes out. Airborne Tiger, some costly mistakes speeding in the pit lane, have ruined what was a charge through the field from the middle of the pack to leading this race within a couple of laps. Heavy Chalice on the front row. Looked like a real contender to grab his first PRL victory, but has faltered in the later stages, and penalties have not helped. Balzerga clawing through the field. Toneless keeping it clean. Kobe plays our pole sitter. Some penalties and additional pit stops have dropped him down the order. But T. Stiggy will come across the line, be the first one to see the checkered flag, almost bending the car in the process. But Gourd Sauce, celebratory, gets across the line and is back on top at Canada. Airborne Tiger just misses out on P2, 0.3 of a second. He will grab P3. So that's on the timing page there. Oh, Nico loses the car in the final corner, and that's going to cost him some spots. So, so we'll have to remember Kobe Plays was P9, right? Drivers, we got to remember we can't leave the session early or it'll start to bump you down the order. It'll count you as a DNF. But we'll remember that he was P9. Huge congratulations to Gourd Sauce. Breaking a cold streak. Where that streak began, actually. Back in Montreal at his home track. What would I say? Canada will go crazy. It's like a Stanley Cup victory. It's like a fastest lap goes to Gibby, driver of the day, and most overtakes to Pickle Tickle. Interesting. And cleanest driver goes to Spot Up. Try to run through the final results here. Gourd Sauce back on top after a very long wait. T. Stiggy P2 was the first one across the line. Airborne Tiger P3, a great drive that was marred by penalties. Heavy Chalice, a strong race from him at P4. Balzerga from P12 on the grid. A strong P5 finish. Toneless, keeping it clean, finishing P6 where he started. Ghost Viper, Kitten Petter for the back of the field. And then Kobe Plays is actually 9th, and the Pickle Tickle was P10 from 17th on the grid. A good drive from him. Nico 11th, Andy Boo 12th, Vinny Sips 13th. Gibby falling down the order with an extra pit stop P14. Tours P15, Ace P16, Spot Up P17, Unbiased P18, and KP, our lone DNF, P19. Well, that was certainly an eventful one. Super entertaining. I hope you guys in the stream had a fantastic time watching that, because I had a great time calling that. 6 drivers all in the mix. Got a good feel-good story, a good feel-good victory. Gourd Sauce back on top after a long wait. I'm sure McLaren clinched the constructors with that. I'm not going to say anything officially, though. And what else? Final race of the season. Next week at Qatar, right? Yep, final race of season 14 midweek will be at Qatar. Next Wednesday, same time. I hope to see you then. I've been Hoop BK. This has been Performance Racing League Midweek Tier. Have a good one.